Today we will talk about unified logging. Before I get into the topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Svetlana Grinevich. I'm working as a QA lead engineer in Ask Applications. I've been with Ask for 4 years. I'm working on search engineering. My career includes leadership experience in managing with emphasis on quality control and software testing, including automated testing, process reengineering, and organizational change management. I've been working as a test coach for almost 5 years. As a test coach, I lead groups of testers who primarily identify as contributors in agile team. I'm a big fan of tennis. I've been a tennis player since first year at university. Traveling is my second passion. I believe that travel is so much more than simply seeing sights. The travel and things you learn from it can really change your life. As more organizations move to the cloud, the volume of machine-generated data has grown exponentially and is increasingly important for many teams. Software engineers rely on logs to develop new applications and troubleshoot existing apps to meet reliability targets. Security operators depend on logs to find and address threats and meet compliance needs. And well-structured logs provide invaluable insight that can fuel business growth. Accurate and robust logging is a critical element in any application. It is important than like any other feature in application. Let's talk about how automated tests can help to verify that logging statements are accurate and don't not cause errors themselves. From production monitoring to security concerns, businesses need to analyze and review their logs on a daily basis to make sure their system is up to par. Here are the reasons why analyzing your log data is so important. The analysis of log data, also known as data logging, is a process of making sense of computer-generated records. This process helps business comply with security policies, audits, or regulations, comprehended system behaviors, troubleshoots, and as well understand one-line user behavior. Businesses must review their logs daily to search for errors, anomalies, or suspicious activities that deviate from the norm. In fact, log analysis needs to interpret messages within the context of application system and map varying terminologies from log sources, and then turns it in uniform terminology. How data analysis can help? Production monitoring and debugging. Apps and systems are constantly growing in both size and complexity. And the use of logging platforms is now becoming a must for any growing businesses. By analyzing your key trends across your different systems, debugging and as well as troubleshooting, you will be able to create opportunities for improving on your business on a small budget. Resources usage. When it comes to your system performance, often your systems are not a fault, but rather your server requests are those that cause an overload of your system, and your system has trouble dealing with. Tracking your resources, you will be able to understand when the system is close to overload. So you will be able to prevent it from happening and adding additional capacity when needed. Slow queries. By analyzing your log data, you will be able to detect when users are not getting the information they need, or if this data is taking too long to load. By tracking slow queries, you will be able to see how your database queries are performing. Security. From a security point of view, the purpose of a log is to act as a red flag when something bad happening. Analyzing your logs on a regular basis will allow you business a quick response time to security threats. Tracking your visitors. Log data analysis will help you understand not only how many visitors have entered your site, but what pages they spent the most time, what they were doing on your sites, why there are changes in the numbers of your visitors. Before we get into the nitty-gritty detail of unified data logging, let's remind ourselves of a cautionary tale of a pioneer of the internet. Have you ever heard of Netscape? This company, which created one of the first browsers, is most famous for its downfall. Once growing 90% of the market, once owning 90% of the market, within a few years, it lost almost all of it. The CEO of Netscape, Jim Barksdale, once said, "If we have data, let's look at data. If all we have are opinions, let's go with mine." It's the reality how many companies operate today. Why? Because gathering, analyzing, and interpreting data is difficult, even with the latest technologies we have today. More and more companies realize just how how fragmented the data is, and that data analytics is most reliable if performed in a unified manner. What is unified data? Unified data is the result of aggregating data from disparate sources in a single view, in order to provide more complete and accurate answers to the critical question and organization. For example, one type of data that companies receive today is customer feedback. Think about the different way people or customers are likely to share their feedback. Through answering surveys, when they contact support, by lodging a complaint, when they try to do something online but cannot do, they turn to live chat, by sending angry tweet. Unifying this data in one place could provide the most accurate view of what works and what doesn't work in the company's current product or processes. Why the unified logging layer matters. The amount of logs produced today is staggering. The logs provide opportunities for analysis to better understand customers and continually improve products. The log collection pipeline then becomes available data. Collecting and unifying the data for a better consumption and analysis can be a challenge. Logs must be consumable for machines first, humans second. And then at the end of the day, humans also need to read the logs to perform sanity checks. For that reasons, the logs format should cater to both, with the primary focus on machine consumption first and human second. While several formats are strong candidates, protocol buffer, message pack, drifts, and so entry, JSON is a strong contender because it's easier to read for both machines and humans. Collecting log data presents a challenge. Logs need to be transparent when they are produced. Mobile devices, sensors, web servers, to where they can be achieved cost efficiently for analysis. HDFS, Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, and so entry. Transporting massive quantities of logs over network creates a technical challenge. At minimum, the transport mechanism must be able to cope with network failures and not lose any data. Ideally, it should be able to prevent data duplication. Today, collecting and storing logs is more complex than ever. On the data input side, increasingly more devices produce logs in a wide range of formats. On the data output side, developments and new databases or storage engines are frequently announced. Maintaining logging pipelines with so many data inputs and outputs is a challenge, and it must be addressed in a manageable way. In this presentation, we will look at some strategies for capturing and verifying logging statements. My team is using cloud platform for real-time insights. Cloud logging allows us to analyze and use log-based metrics to build real-time cloud monitoring dashboards. Also, Google Cloud enables us to search, sort, and analyze logs through flexible query statements, along with rich histogram visualizations. My team is using Sauce Labs virtual machines for running our after test. Let me show how our team verifies the logging statements. First, we will look at a simple and easy to implement strategy for capturing network traffic. Next, we will focus on data processing and verification of the data received. We will consider a search engine results page to introduce this solution. Let's look at a manual test on how to verify the logs in browser. In Developer Tools, on Network tab, are recording all network requests which you can sort by URL domain name. The unified login event is triggered on any user actions, as a click, for example. The event is in JSON format, so you can easily verify the data. In our project, we separate front-end and back-end events. This is one major difference between back-end and front-end logs. The front-end event is a GET request, and back-end event is a POST request. To verify the new unified login data, we need to filter them from the response and you can read it using any JSON viewer. Now, verify data, there are. Well, we have received the logs. Next step of verification is to test data and data layout. A log contains a large amount of rows. Manual verification of the data is a challenge. Layout testing is also a complex task. In this regard, the question arises: how can we replace the manual verification with automated? Now let's look at a demo how this process is automated. Our team has developed the automated framework in Go. So any sample code which will be demonstrated today will be in Go. To enable network compatibility for test and generate custom log files, we are using Sauce options and set up extended debugging as true. In our automation framework, we configure a test in the options function. One example of this you can see on this slide. The Sauce Lab network logs records all network requests been made by the page currently open in the browser. To retrieve the network log output, we are using execute command. We inject a snippet of JavaScript into the page for execution in the context of the current selected frame. The result of evaluating the script is returned to the log value. To better understand what the network log is, let's navigate to the test details page for test in Sauce Lab dashboard. Here you can observe your test execution, which was run on a virtual machine. You can access the JavaScript console logs under the network tab of the test details page. As a result, we have all these logs saved in the log value when we run the JavaScript command. Also, you can access the logs through the REST API, through the assets endpoint. Here you can find the command syntax. Performing the test, we receive the value in HTTPH format, which collects all network requests and responses made and received by the browser during the test. This is a huge amount of requests. You can see now. And obviously, the next step is to filter the data to get the unified login request. Then, when you have received the request, you need to read the response and filter it to find the unified login data. Let's perform the same steps in Sauce Labs dashboard to observe the auto test. First, you will filter network request to get the aggregator request. Next, you navigate to Response tab and find the unified login data. Here you are. The last step is to compare the actual test results with the expected. We are storing the expected test results in JSON format, and the actual test results we saved in JSON format too. So it's easy to compare two JSON objects to find the difference. If the objects are equal, the verification passed. The verification front-end request is similar to backend with one difference. We receive the test data from the request URL instead of the response and save it in JSON format. The last step is to compare the actual test results with the expected. The expected results are also stored in JSON format. Finally, we compare two JSON objects to find the differences. If the objects are equal, the verification passed. This solution allowed us to automate the unified login verification. The product triggers 100 different unified login events. The verification which completely covered with the auto test. The verification includes both the data verification and layout verification. The tests are integrated in the sanity check and included in the continuous integration process. Thank you for your attention. Time for your questions.